Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode here in NHL 22. So if you didn't catch the last episode, we won our second straight Stanley Cup, so that's the first time I think I've done that since like NHL 17, which is pretty awesome. But as you can see here with the New Jersey Devils, we kind of had an interesting series. I think it might have been a bit tougher than the series we had with the Detroit Red Wings last season, but you can see we dropped the first two games, and I was kind of a bit concerned if this team was going to come back or not. We didn't win 4-1 on the road and 4-3 in overtime, which was huge. We didn't take a 3-2 series lead and then lose 8-3, but then Game 7, we won 4-0, and yeah, we ended up winning our second straight cup. But anyways, now we are in the off-season, or almost close to the off-season. We are probably going to have to change up a few things, because there's probably going to be some retirements, I'm assuming. Like, I feel like Sebastian Aho might retire this off-season. We also will have to make a trade, which I will get into a little bit. But I will quickly show you guys our player stats again from the playoffs, just in case you did not catch that part of the episode. But it was a very good run from this team, and I'm very glad to see that we could actually pull off a back-to-back, because like I said, I haven't done that in quite a long time. But as you can see, Aho is still really good in the playoffs, but he is dropping off a lot. He's down to an 83 bottom 6 forwards, so I don't know if he's going to retire this season, but if he does, then it will at least free up some money. If not, we still have him signed for another season. Also, Gordon Bentley, I believe, is a free agent this season. I don't know if we're going to bring him back. I might want to bring him back because he's pretty solid, but I don't know how much he's going to cost. Also, Josh Norris and Connor Geekie. Then we go to the left wing wise. Obviously, Agostino is still going to be here for another season, and then we're going to have to re-sign him to another 8-year deal, I think, because this guy is probably my favorite player in the series. We also got Shishkinov, who had a really good playoffs. McIntyre was okay, and McGillis is still signed for a couple of years, I think. Right wing wise, Michkov was really good, and we still have him locked up for another 5 seasons, which is nice. And then Shelley was pretty good. Redmond was okay as well, and same with Gallagher. And then our defensive core, Jake Chikrin was solid, decent enough, and then Sasaki was actually pretty good as well. 5 goals, 6 assists for 11 points. Tuukkanen had 6 points, Rensky had 6 points, and Guerrero had 4, and I believe one of the other guys must be sent down to the AHL right away. I'm trying to remember who it would be. Yeah, I don't remember who it would be. I think it would be Burkhoff, actually. Yeah, it'd probably be Burkhoff. And then goalie-wise, Hornquist was actually pretty solid in the playoffs. Beauregard was kind of streaky at times. So, first, before we get into the off-season and all that type of stuff, we do have a few comments to go over from Rebecca Weiss-Woods, and those comments read, Sasaki has a Gordie Howe hat-trick in Game 3, which I didn't actually realize. He managed to fight a guy in the first period, apparently, of Game 3, and then he also picked up an assist and a goal. So, yeah, Sasaki was a beast in that game for sure. Also, Rebecca says, woohoo, back-to-back Cup champions, and the Coyote howl at the end for the fans. Yeah, I really liked when the howl happened at the end. It was kind of a neat way to send off the Cup champions. And then also, it says, what is it? Keep playing to the year 25 is my suggestion. Finishing off the franchise and seeing who owns the records would be awesome. So, yeah, we are definitely doing all 25 years in the series, just because obviously we still want to win more Stanley Cups, and a lot of these guys, I want to see how their careers kind of wrap up and all that type of thing. So, that is that. And final thing before we actually get to the offseason, I want to show you guys one of the players that is getting dealt regardless. I didn't realize this when I traded for him, but the guy, which is Zac Rorenski, he managed to sign a 1-year extension before we traded for him. So I guess he got an extension at 8.9, which is very expensive for an 82 who's more than likely going to drop off because of age. So we are going to try and trade him at the draft. In that way, we could free up some cap space to get back these other defensemen. And then we'll probably have to sign somebody in free agency, or we could use one of our youngsters, I guess, in the system. And maybe at some point we upgrade that defenseman at the deadline and all that type of thing, just like we did the last 2 seasons. So that is that. And let's find out who retires this season. I don't know if we're going to lose anybody or not, because the one guy I'd be worried about would be Sebastian Aho, which I think he might end up retiring. But if he doesn't retire, then it's probably like next season. So St. Louis is going to win the draft lottery, followed by Carolina, Tampa, Minnesota, and Ottawa. Interesting. Okay, and retired players for the season. Did we lose anybody to retirement? It does not look like it, surprisingly. Okay, so the best player to retire, though, is Connor McDavid, already at 36, which is kind of unfortunate considering he's at 92. Don't know why he's still not playing. but 1,709 points, and like the next closest is Willie Nylander with 1161, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, McDavid's the best player by far in this retirement class. Former player of ours, Christian Dvorak, retires. Interesting. He was with us for a good number of years. Former Yote Connor Garland also retires. I don't know if there's any players from us that used to play. Kind of an interesting retirement class. One really good player, and then all the rest of them are pretty solid too. Christian Fischer, another former player of ours. Interesting. And I think that's that pretty much, looks like. Let me just check our team in general, see if there's any players. Nope, no forwards for us. And any goalies? Nope, none for us as well. In terms of the entire league, though, Andrei Vasilevsky is going to retire at 38 years of age in Boston. Interesting. Cal Peterson also retires, Dreger, Jari, etc. Prosvetov retires already as well, apparently. Former goalie of ours. Interesting. Okay, so that is the retirements for the season. Anybody going to become coaches? Yep, Travis Sanheim becomes a coach. Interesting. And we are going to lose a scout in the SHL, which means we might need to assign ourselves some new scouts. Coach retirement-wise, did we lose any coaches? I do not think so. We lost somebody in Tucson. I don't know if that's the head coach, though, or Sog. I don't know if it is or not. But we did lose a coach in the minors, which is unfortunate. When we take a look in quickly at our coaching staff, see if that was the head coach in the minors. It was not. It was an assistant coach. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that is good. And now we could get into the draft, I think. Yeah, well, now we can get into the draft. I honestly don't know what I'm going to go after because I haven't looked at this draft class in a few weeks since I pre-recorded, obviously, all those playoff episodes. But since do we even have our first rounder? I think we do still. Unless I traded it away, but I don't remember if I did or not. Because if we did not, I don't really know what we want to go after in terms of the draft. Maybe just some more forwards, or oh, maybe that guy's interesting. Yeah, there might be some intriguing players in this draft. We'll figure that out in a second. But like I said, we are going to be trading away Zac Rorenski at this draft. So let's do that first at the draft right here. I just don't know who we are going to trade him to. So let's go to find trade, because as you can see also without Zac Rorenski, we still have, like I said, Burkov's still there, Bilesma and Hordichuk, both those guys are getting close. So like it doesn't make sense for us to hold on to Rensky for now, but eventually we could bring in another good defenseman at like the trade deadline. Rensky actually has a good amount of value still, which is kind of surprising. Probably because of how good a season he had. No trades are found. Okay, so we're going to have to just find a trade on our own, which is unfortunate because that's going to take a little bit longer. Who wants Zac Rorenski on this team, or in this league, I should say? Because I want Hordichuk to play in the NHL or something like that. There is some interest from some teams, but they'll all be over the cap limit, which is unfortunate. Edmonton. Okay, Edmonton we could trade him to, I guess. What does Edmonton have on the trading block? I do want to get rid of some picks, but that's not really that late. Anybody that we could actually use for like next season, maybe? I doubt it, but yeah, it doesn't look like they have actually a whole lot, so we'll try and find another team instead. Minnesota could work as well. What do they got for skaters matching block? Nothing, because we don't have our block set, I guess. Wait, who do they have on the trade block? Nothing really. I'm gonna find some team that kind of makes sense, but we gotta find a way to get rid of Zac Rorenski just to free up that cap space, because I do want to sign like Sasaki and stuff back first. Okay, so they do have some players that might match our block here, some younger guys, so I guess I could take back a younger forward. That guy's already 22 and probably not going to make it. That guy's probably not going to make it. I guess I could take back some draft picks if they want to move picks, which they do. I could take back a second rounder for this year if I wanted. Or one for next year. How about a second and a third for next year for Zac Rorenski? I think that's a pretty good deal for us. Just gives us some more picks just in case. Even though we are going to be probably a competitive team, we could use these just to flip at the deadline or something like that. So Rorenski for a second and a third, and that's accepted. So Zac Rorenski is gone. It does suck to move him out, but like I said, we needed that cap space. And then also, like, we could bring in somebody better at the trade deadline if we really want to on the defensive core. Because, for example, that Mackey guy we were looking at, he's going to have 1 year left at the deadline. So if he's still around, maybe there's a chance we trade for him. So Darling goes first overall, 82 overall power forward to the St. Louis Blues. Pretty solid player. Carolina at number 2 is going to take Fraze, who's an 82 way forward with some really good X factors, it looks like. Good passer and whatnot. Also good defensive forward, good skater. Tampa's going to take Leopold, who's a 79 defenseman. Interesting. Looks like he could play pretty solid offensively. And Minnesota's going to take a high top 4, which is kind of a weird one to take at number 4. Always seems like the 4th overall pick is usually not as good as the other ones. And then Ottawa at number 5 is going to take a 79 medium elite sniper, which should be pretty interesting in Jay Mills. Interesting. Let's jump to our pick and see what we can pick up here. I honestly have no idea what I'm going to go after in this draft, but that's the fun of it sometimes. I might go for Gunderson just because he looks like he could be good, but he does have a weakness in character, which is kind of a little bit risky, but 1 year ETA guaranteed is good. So he might be our best option. Not that we really need more defensemen, though. Or we could go with somebody like Yoshimura, maybe Party. Yeah, 4 years out. Let me just sort this by potential first, just to see if there's anything good out there. Any of these guys guaranteed to be like medium elites or low elites? Yeah, I honestly don't know what we really even need, because we're just really strong in terms of building up our prospect pool consistently. This guy's a guaranteed gem, Colin Curtis, but he's 19 years old. Yeah, 5 year ETA is not good. How about Yoshimura though? Yoshimura might be 2 years out, so he might be actually pretty solid. I might take Yoshimura, to be honest. Just gives us another forward. He's a right winger. He's 17 years of age. Looking like a 2-way forward. His stat line looks pretty good as well. Like, he's got good physical, which is kind of interesting. Maybe good defense, good average senses. Yeah, he looks like he could be a good player. Maybe a good shooter as well. So, yeah, we're going to take Yoshimura, I think, here. Yeah, I'm going to take Yoshimura just because that defenseman, even though he's got 1 year ETA, I honestly don't need more defensemen at this stage just because of Hordichuk and stuff like that right now. So, yeah, let's bring in Yoshimura and see how good he is. Sucks having the last pick in the draft, though, because we have to constantly go back to see what we got. So, how good was Yoshimura? Low lead 65 overall, not too bad. I was hoping he'd be a low lead, and he does have X factors as well, so he might make the NHL at some point. We do have guys that were low leads in the AHL system, like Kagorodov, who should jump up to the NHL at some point, so we might have to make some more moves in next episode as well. But yeah, Yoshimura looks pretty solid all around. Not bad. Also has elite edges as his zone ability, yoink, beauty backhand, tape to tape, and ice pack. So he can block shots. He can play good defensively with his stick lifts, good passing, good backhand, and good skating. So not bad. I'll definitely take that for the 32nd overall pick. Looks like we don't have a 2nd round pick this year, which is okay because I don't really care about drafting a lot more good prospects at this stage for now. Just because this team is going to probably be back in the playoffs again unless we lose a lot of good players. Yeah, the rest of this draft class is probably not going to be that great. Any low elites or medium elites guaranteed. These two guys might be medium elite. Weakness and character, though, I don't really like that. Goalie-wise, there's this guy, but he's got an E in reflexes, it looks like, but no weakness, apparently. 19 years of age as well, so probably not that great. Let's go back to scouting rank, see if there's anything down here. Maybe Bobrovsky. 3 years out, though, is not bad. Is that guaranteed? No, not guaranteed. McElhaney, no weakness. Looks actually pretty solid. 2 years ETA. Okay, we got to take this guy. He looks like he could be a good shooter. Yeah, that guy seems really intriguing. Caden McElhaney. Let's see how good you are. He's probably not going to have the potential. He might have a good overall out of the gate, though. He is going to be a low top 666, so a little bit lower than I thought, but still has some decent attributes, I'd say, all around. Might become something at some stage. Who knows? Maybe he becomes just a trade asset at some point, too, because we have been trading away prospects, so There is that Bits guy now at this stage, which I guess I might take, even though he does have a weakness in character because he might have elite potential. There also is a goalie in Breland, who's 19, but I don't think he's going to be that good. So yeah, you know what, we're just going to take Javon Bits here. You know he's got a weakness in character, might as well add another player. That is maybe good potentially. And he is a medium elite offensive defenseman. Damn, I didn't expect him to be an OFD. But yeah, he's probably going to take a long time to develop, and he's probably not going to make the NHL. I don't assume he's probably going to be one of those medium elites that just grow to like a 78 or something, my guess. I could be wrong with that though. Our next pick here, Miroslav Stumple. 4 years out is not bad, but he's 20 years old already. Trojanovic, no weakness. And let's just take Trojanovic. I don't really care what I'm taking for the rest of this draft, because at this stage the draft class is usually just pretty terrible. And Trojanovic is a low bottom 6, so that's not that great. Let's him to our last pick of the draft, and the last pick of the entire draft, and see if we could just find a randomly good steal here, which I don't think I will. Any of these guys projected to be still a draft pick, maybe. No weakness for Trudeau, but he's 20. Yeah, I don't know really what to go with here, so I might just throw a random one at maybe Korea. Yeah, maybe Korea. He might be low top 4. He's 18. Black size. Yeah, you know what? We're going to just take Dorian Korea. Why not? And he was a low top 4, did I say? Yeah, he was. Okay, not bad for the last pick. So not a bad draft for us. Yoshimura, Mikulani, Bits, Trojanovic, and Korea. I'd say Yoshimura and Bits are decent because, well, Bits has got the potential, but I don't know if he'll make it. Mikulani could be decent for a low top 6, and then Trojanovic in Korea, I'm not 100% sure on yet. Trojanovic most likely won't make it, but not a bad draft. We got ourselves a low elite forward to potentially get into our NHL club eventually. So let's get into the re-sign stage now, which is going to be probably a little bit tough. We do have to re-sign our head coach, which is kind of scary, considering this guy came off 2 Stanley Cup wins. I don't know if we're going to have that budget to re-sign him. We do not really have the budget to re-sign him unless I do fire our associate coach. How much is he asking for right now? 2.99. I can't talk him down too much. That's almost our entire budget, so we might actually have to let go of our coach, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, I think I have to let go of the coach because there's no way I could go over budget, but I'm just going to try and offer him what he's asking for right now, or a little bit more. If I don't have the budget to sign him, then we'll have to find ourselves a new coach, which is very not that great because Khalil Klimi has been a very good coach for us. He's coached with us for 4 years. He's got a 66.1% win percentage, 180, 85, and 30. He's been a phenomenal coach, really good in the playoffs as well, obviously winning the 2 cups with us. So hopefully we could bring him back. And if not, then that might be a big blow to this team, unless we could find another coach with good chemistry for cheaper. Okay, let's get into the rest of the re-sign stage here and see who we got to re-sign here. We only got 33 million in cap space, so it was good that I just traded away Rensky. We are going to qualify all our RFAs and just like let them sign up for another year, just because it's just easier that way to qualify all the RFAs and wait, kind of like what I do with my Houston series. So we will qualify all these guys up just because at least we have control over their contracts. And yeah, Galiev, is he close to being NHL already? 2 years. Actually, 2-way deal. We'll just give him what he wants. Let's get to our NHL guys and our UFAs. So let's go to the bottom of this list here. And we are going to let go of a couple prospects that aren't going to make it. Noble Seltsev, low top 6, 64 at 20. Probably not going to make it, so I will let this guy go. Even though he does have potential, I don't think he's going to make it. So Koltsov for the AHL, I guess I could try. Actually, do I need him back? I don't know. I might need him back. I'd like to keep some of these AHL guys around. Ortmeyer's been with the AHL team for a long time, so I want to try and keep him around. Bykov still wants a 2-way deal, so might as well sign these guys up again. Or try to. Because we want the AHL team to still do pretty decently. I am going to let go of Wolf again. This guy was more of a depth forward these last 2 seasons. And with the guys in the system, we don't really need him, so we're going to let him walk. I'm also going to let Goldman walk just because of the defensemen in the system like Hordichuk coming up. so it's kind of pointless to keep on to Tony Goldman, so best of luck in free agency. And then Ariel Gallant, I think, as well, is going to be going. Yeah, he's probably going to be gone. He's another kind of depth forward for us. Has played a lot more games than normal. Yeah, he's going to be gone. Unless, does he want a two-way deal as well? No, he wants a one-way. So, goodbye to Gallant as well. Best of luck in free agency. And now we got the guys that actually matter more. So, let me start off with goalie-wise. Hornquist is a UFA. I didn't remember that. What is he asking for? Ooh, $7 million. I might not be able to bring back Hornquist. Beauregard only wants $825. I'll sign Beauregard again, I think, unless what's his name, Galiev is ready. Yeah, I don't really know. I might actually just let both those goalies walk for now, but yeah, Hornquist might not come back, which is very unfortunate because he won himself the Stanley Cup. He's a two-time Stanley Cup champion now. Very good AHL goalie. But I want $7 million. It's a bit out of my price range right now, but I might bring him back. It depends if these other guys sign for cheaper. Bentley, I would like to keep him around, but $5 million is a bit expensive as well. He probably would replace Josh Norris, so I don't know if we'll need Josh Norris anymore. Yeah, I don't know if we need Josh Norris anymore. The ones that matter most, though, are probably all these low leads that we signed on 1 year. So, Shishkinov, 3 years at 5. That's not bad. But I don't want to send him too long-term because... let's do a 2-year deal for him and give him 5.4. See if he'll accept that. Guerrero. Oh my goodness, 6x6. That's a long-term deal, but I might let go of Guerrero. I might let go of him. Gallagher as well is the type of guy that I should let go of. Sasaki's one of these guys I want to keep around. And 6x6.8 is not too bad. Yeah, I don't think that's terrible. What about, what does it go down? Yeah, it does. I don't want to sign him too long term, but 6x6.8 isn't bad. If I go down to... Yeah, it doesn't really go down by that much unless I go to 1 year. Let me try 1 year at, or 6 years at 6.6 and see if he'll accept that. But I would like to keep Sasaki around. I think Guerrero and Gallagher might leave just because of the guys in the system, but Guerrero is only 25. He's a rock-solid defensive defenseman, plus 84 already in his career, so it would be probably good to keep him around, but with his asking price, I don't really know. And then Gallagher is actually still relatively cheap, so I might keep him around for now. Yeah, we'll keep him around for now. See if he'll accept that. And then, yeah, like I said, with Norris, I think he's gone. Tukinen, I'd like to keep him around. Let's just do a 1 year deal for him, though, and give him like 5.3. And then Bentley, I'd like to keep around as well if I can. Let's just do another 1 year deal, just until I get my big guys signed up again, because I want to make sure I have cap space for Agostino when his contract is over, obviously. 1 year at 5.2. And let's advance today and see if we get all those guys in. And I do not have the budget to bring back our coach, so that is very unfortunate, but we'll see if we could find ourselves a new coach. Okay, so all those guys actually accepted right out of the gate, which is great, but we only have 15 million in cap space. So yeah, that is kind of risky. So we might actually have to get rid of somebody like Sebastian Aho to sign more of these players back if we want to, because he's still making 11 million for a year since he didn't retire. Like 15 million to sign all these guys is impossible. I'm going to still try and get these guys on some two-way deals because I want them for the AHL club, especially Ortmeyer, because he's kind of like an AHL legend now. But yeah, Guerrero, I think he's gone for now, but he could come back if we free up some cap space in next episode. Josh Norris, I don't think we need to bring back. I'd like to still keep Bentley around. Hornquist at 7 million is a bit too much for my liking, so he might be gone for now as well. And Beauregard, I guess I could give him 825k. That's a cheap goalie option, so might as well keep him around just in case. And then RFA-wise, we got all these guys qualified, and we only have 15 million. Yikes. Do we need Bentley? I think we do still need Bentley as a center, to be honest. I'll give him a 1 year deal, and we'll give him 5.3, but we do not have a lot of cap space, so we might have to shed some cap in next episode. But that's as expected after coming off 2 Stanley Cup wins. But let's advance today, see if we get those guys in. I think one guy rejected. Yeah, that was... Who was it that rejected? Somebody rejected. Oh, it was Bentley. I don't know why I didn't see that at first. Yeah, we might not be able to get Bentley back. And let's try 545 for you for 1 year, Bentley. Because we do not have really a whole lot of cap space to work with. At least we got a good prospect pool to replenish some of these guys. There you go. Okay, so we got Bentley. We only have 10.825 in cap space, which means Norris and Guerrero are gone for now. And then it also means Hornquist is gone for now too. And then all these RFAs are just going to be qualified, but some of these guys might jump up into our NHL team, like Kagorodov, who hasn't played yet, or Penner, Dalmau. So we have some options at least. But so now that that is done, let's sim up to free agency, and then we'll take a look at our roster and see what we exactly have, and we'll take a look at the available free agents. But for now, those guys that I showed you are all gone, more than likely. And some of them probably won't come back just because of the cap situation, unless we are to trade away somebody. So yeah, we didn't get our coach back as well, so we got to find ourselves a new head coach, and that is within budget. It sucks to let go of Khalil Klimi after giving us 2 Stanley Cups. So what does our roster look like right now as of free agency? So we still have Geeky, we have Aho signed for 11 million, but after he's gone next offseason or something like that, we should have a lot of cap space. Bentley signed for 1 year. We have Penner still, we have Dalmau, we have Bykov, not bad. We still have Agostino, Shishkinov, McGillis signed, Michkov, Shelley, Gallagher, Kagorodov, and Utsorf. So technically we have 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 roster players. Dalmau might be a depth forward, which means we might only need 1 depth forward. We might not need a whole lot. Like, the team is definitely going to be a little bit worse, but it's still not bad after those losses. Defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't mind that, because I would like to get, like I said, Hordichuk and Bilesman back into the defensive core. And if we get them back into the defensive core, we have all 6 defensemen. And then we could use Ortmeyer as a 7th D just because he's got X factors and he's 28. He's never played an NHL game. Or we sign ourselves a depth defenseman. That's always something we could do. And then we could run these 2 as our NHL goalies, but we don't have to. We could always find ourselves a backup goalie or a starting goalie and then let Galiev play another year in the AHL. He was really good when he played in the NHL playoffs a few years ago, so that's really up to you guys if we want to sign anybody or not. But let's take a look at what's out there in free agency, just in case you guys want to see if there's anything out there. And then we'll also take a look at the trading block, just in case you guys want me to make some trades to free up some cap space to go off after maybe a bigger name free agent. So let's start off with the centerman, and let's go to UFAs. So the best centermans out there are Reinhardt, Batherson, Norris. Farinacci's back in free agency, wanting $6 million. Interesting. Nathan McKinnon. Sapolvyov's back in free agency trying to get $4 million. Where was he last season? 1 year in Buffalo, and he had a 43-point season, so not too bad for Sapolvyov. Kempe, Moses. 825 for Kukunin, but he's 35. Yeah, there's some decent centers out there. Nothing I would probably bring in, but you never know. Left wing wise, Brady Tkachuk's the best available. Philip Zadina, our former players there. Robertson, Driedger. Driedger's pretty good, but $8 million would eat up most of the cap space we have left. And we do still have some RFAs holding out, like Redmond, I think, still. But yeah, there's some decent players out there for sure. If we want to like change up the roster a little bit, get rid of players that are here. Like if we want to get rid of Aho, we honestly could. And then that'll free up some cap space to go after a bigger name free agent. But I don't really know if we want to or not. Like, Aho's play is probably going to drop off because of how old he is, but you never really know. Because if you put him with the right players, maybe he'll still do pretty solid. And then defensively, just in case we need a depth defenseman, or if we don't want to play like Hordichuk this year, Brant Clark's the best available, apparently. There's Guerrero. I don't know if he's going to get $6 million in free agency, but yeah, we had to let him go just because of that cap situation. Like, he's way too expensive. But some pretty good defenders out there. A lot of 80+ overalls, which is good. So, but if we want to bring in like a depth defenseman, we'll go down here a little bit more. There's like a couple 78s, but at that rate, I would rather play like Hordichuk and stuff this season. So there is that. And then goalie-wise, just in case we want to find ourselves a new goalie, just because we can't bring in Hornquist, since he's wanting 6.725. Carter Hart's there with 1 year, but he's probably going to drop off. There's a lowly goalie here as well, but he's probably 4.6. He's a bit cheaper, but still would eat up a good amount of our cap space. We could always take a budget-friendly goalie like this 825 guy as well, Jeff Couturier. I almost say Cloutier, just because I'm used to being Cloutier's being goalies. He's kind of similar to Beauregard. We could bring him in for 825k, and then run the two of those guys. So that's what is available in free agency. And finally, let's take a quick look at the trading block just to see if there's anything out there for trade-wise. But for right now, I don't know if we're going to make any trades unless it's just getting rid of some cap space so we could sign some bigger players. But Fabro and Dobson in Anaheim. Charlie McAvoy with 1 year left in Boston. He's dropping off a lot. Vorobiev in Boston as well. Darlene Miller, Bernard Docker, Merkley, and Matt Tachuk in Buffalo. So a lot of defensemen on the block so far, which is interesting. Nothing for Calgary, just prospects for Carolina, so it doesn't matter. Suzuki in Chicago, as well as Nordgren, Gruel, Radish, and that's it. Wait, did Radish go there? Wait a sec. I started this series before Radish actually got dealt to Chicago in real life, right? Yeah, I did. And then he went to Chicago anyways. That's kind of interesting, because didn't he get dealt there in the Brandon Hagel trade in real life? I think so. Nothing Colorado, nothing Columbus. Sholand in Dallas. Romanov in Detroit. Nothing in Edmonton. Some prospects in Florida. More prospects in LA. Nothing in Minnesota. Nothing in Montreal. Krebs in Nashville, as well as Hedel. And some prospects. Holtz, Dubé, Pouling, Henriksen, and Nielsen in New Jersey, who we just beat in the Stanley Cup final. Nothing in the Islanders, nothing in the Rangers, nothing in Ottawa. Magnuson in Philly. Pittsburgh, nothing. San Jose, just prospects. Seattle, nothing. St. Louis, nothing. Tampa Bay has Meyer Zetterberg, who's a very good player, but yeah, very big contract hit. Interesting. Zac Rorenski's immediately thrown on the block by the Toronto Maple Leafs since we just traded him there, which is kind of weird. Also, Rasmus Sandin. Ferraro, some prospects. Tyrell, who's a 25-year-old top six, making $6 million. Interesting. And in Washington, nothing. Winnipeg has Fiala and Kyrou. And that is what is on the block. So a decent amount of stuff, but I don't really know if there's anything that would help us out more. Because like I said, I don't really think we need really anything for forwards unless it's just a depth forward. And then defensively, I don't really know if we need anything except for a depth defenseman. And then we could always sign another goalie, or we could let Galiev play as the backup this season, since he's technically at that make or break point, I would say, for a young goalie. Or actually, maybe not. He could make it at the age of 24, but in his limited NHL experience, he was really good. I don't know if he will be that good again, or if it was just a team in front of him. Like, he had not lost a game in regulations, so it's up to you guys if we want to trade or sign for a new backup goalie, and if we want to sign anything else free agent-wise, or free up some cap space. Because right now, Aho and Chychrun, both of them are in the last year of their deals, and making a combined $22.5 million, which is a lot. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Arizona Coyotes franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll have free agency, and then we'll start up simulating the season. And yeah, hopefully this team could maybe go for a three-peat. I don't really know if it's going to happen, because we are kind of sacrificing our team's depth in a sense just because of the salary cap. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.